Welcome back. This is Power Breakfast on CNBC TV 18. Now, yesterday on the last read, the market ended higher with the Nifty and Sensex gaining about 0.5% at close. Amongst the broader markets, though, banks ended with a gain of about 0.25%, while the mid-caps, they underperformed with a cut of about almost 1%. Today's trading action, Anisha, what exactly are you picking up? That 11,000 mark, so elusive. Is it going to come or not?
It doesn't look like it'll come at the first tick. We'll have to see what happens in the later half of the day, because to begin with, the cues are a bit subdued. But yes, as you mentioned, the Nifty yesterday managed to reach that mark of 11,000. Reliance and Kotak were the two stocks that were leading the Nifty higher. Of course, Reliance has been up around 7-8% in the last couple of days, and it has seen quite a bit of re-rating after the results. And similar was the case with Kotak Mahindra Bank, because that went up around 3% after the results. Now, as you mentioned, for the Nifty, key level to watch is the on the upside is that 11,000 mark. It has been elusive. We haven't seen that figure for a long time. Let's see whether today is the day when we see that. But on the downside, yesterday's low of around 10,885 is something to watch out for. Now, yesterday's the FII sold around 300 crores in the cash equity markets, while the DIIs, they were the ones that were pumping in money because they added 520 crores to the cash equity markets. Now, the cues for today, as you were asking, in terms of the global cues, they're a bit damp, because remember, the IMF has cut the global growth forecast. The growth forecast for 2019 has been revised lower by 20 basis points, and for FY20 or rather CY20 it has been cut by 10 basis points. Now, they say that the growth momentum has been slowing down, and this comes on the backdrop of the fact that the Chinese economy recorded the slowest growth in 3 decades yesterday. However, the silver lining for India is the fact that they remain optimistic on India. For FY19, they retain the guidance at 7.3% as far as the global growth outlook or Indian growth outlook is concerned, and in fact they have upped it by 10 basis points for the next year. Now, we had a word with Geeta Gopinath, and she says that the escalation in trade tensions can be a major risk to the economy, as well as the farm loan waiver do not solve the problem permanently, and there can be a cash transfer perhaps. So we'll keep an eye out for all of these things and how the bond markets and yields also react to this particular statement. Asia this morning is a bit mixed. Nikkei was trading in the green, but that's the only index that is actually in the green, because other than that, Hang Seng has opened 84 points lower. In fact, Nikkei also has moved into the red as we speak. Kospi sector also trading with a bit of cut. As you mentioned, there is no fresh cue coming in from the US economy because the markets were shut yesterday, but the futures suggest a downtick of 100 points as far as Dow is concerned. And from Europe, we have been getting those updates that Theresa May is talking about the plan B when it comes to Brexit. She rules out the referendum. So let's see how the markets react to that as well, because that's not fully factored in the European markets yet.
All right, so that's as far as our markets are concerned with regards to the global piece. But individual stocks, a lot of results reaction.
Oh, well, yes. So I'll start with the results expected today. And of course, Big Boy Asian Paint might come out with a good set of numbers. Other than that, TVS Motors, Havells, Shree Cement are some of the stocks that you should keep on your radar. Kotak Mahindra Bank came out with results yesterday. And after that, we are picking up something from sources. Now, sources tell us that Kotak Mahindra Bank may look for an out-of-court settlement with RBI on the promoter shareholding matter. So we'll keep an eye out on that stock in trade today. The company or the bank also said that the SMA2 book stands at 345 crores, and they have received no official communication from RBI yet on the shareholding matter. Separately, the result reactions expected today. L&T Finance. Now, the P&L looked actually all right because the NII, etc. was up, but the fact is that the disbursement has come down by 20% on a year-on-year basis, though the AUM growth remains steady. So let's see how that stock reacts today. Coromandel International did not have a good set because the profit is down 15%. Zensa Technologies as well, the revenue growth came in line with expectations, but it is the margin that disappointed at 10.9% versus 13% that we expected. Just Style, it's good news there because the growth rate momentum is actually picking up in terms of the revenue, and the net profit also came in better than expected. Separately, we'll watch out for IDBI Bank because they've received an in-principle approval for the proposal to reinitiate divestment process of the stake that they have in the IDBI Federal Life Insurance bid. Canara Bank will be in focus because they've floated a request for quotes to invite bids in order to offload the equity shares of NSDL, NEGIL and SIDBI, etc. So that will be in focus. And lastly, keep an eye out on Prabhat Dairy because they have approved the sale and transfer of their dairy products business, which forms almost 98% of the business, for a consideration of around 1,230 crores. So it will be interesting how that stock reacts because a lot of their revenue is actually going away, Magla.
Absolutely. So we will keep an eye out on that and also keep an eye out on other dairy stocks. Thanks a lot for that, Anisha. Come back, and PwC's annual CEO survey says that India is the rising star on the list of the fastest growing large economies. An exclusive conversation with Bob Moritz from Davos up next.